developing today. Royal fury that Prince Harry has made another dig at his blood relatives, this time on stage at an event in the United States of America, where he compared being in the royal family to being like living in Downton Abbey. Now, we know exactly what Harry is doing. Firstly, these are all paid appearances. This is how desperate his life has become. But unfortunately, the only way that he gets any attention now, that he gets any headlines, is if he does include these digs at the British royal family. And while some people might say, well, what's wrong with him comparing life in the royals to Downton Abbey? I'll tell you what, it is absolutely Harry making it clear that the modernisation effort under King Charles and Prince William has failed in his opinion, and that, oh, you need me. You need me back. You need me and Meghan back, because otherwise you are going to continue being this backwards, antiquated organisation. It was a joke designed to sting both his father and his brother, and he simply cannot help himself. We're going to get analysis on all of this from Brittany, editor of the Royal News Network, momentarily. But first, let me take you through exactly what Prince Harry said on stage. This from the Daily Telegraph. The Duke of Sussex has joked that life in the royal family was like living in a Downton Abbey drama. Prince Harry delivered a keynote speech celebrating the deeply personal relationship between the UK and US just hours after it emerged that his wife Meghan had reached out to her estranged father, Thomas Markle. Of course, he didn't give a damn. He continued with the event. Addressing more than 200 business leaders at a prestigious networking event in Los Angeles, Harry made no reference to his father-in-law, but fired off jokes about US independence, British fans drinking the US dry during the 2026 World Cup, and being forced to wear kilts as a child. Diddums. Referring to Lord Fellows, the Oscar-winning screenwriter who was honoured at the event, he said, "People sometimes ask if growing up with the royal family was a bit like Julian's Downton Abbey. Yeah. But only one of those worlds is filled with drama, intrigue, elaborate dinners, marriage to Americans, and the other is a TV show." So, Brittany, before we go on with the other comments, I just want to be really clear about this. Harry was not complimenting the British royal family here. He's making the point that Downton Abbey is old-fashioned in some way, Brittany, is an antiquated institution in some way, Brittany. And of course, he knows how badly both his father and his brother are on this modernization effort. What did you make of it?
I mean, it's just, Dan, something Harry does just seemingly again and again, making digs at his father, at his brother. And in this particular instance, Harry could actually take some time to explain how the British royal family actually works, how things are sort of changing, that yes, there's still some stuffiness here or there, but this is how we modernize things in our own office and all these sorts of things, which was happening when Harry was still a member of the royal family. But Harry, very much like Meghan, is all about rewriting history at this point. And so he has to sort of go along with this very antiquated notion of the monarchy because it fits his narrative and it fits how he wants to look at the royal family now that he's somehow free, and when I think he's actually even more chained down than ever before because he has to now shill for the money he's making. And the best he can do is go to paid speaking events now. He has seemingly given up on having any sort of Hollywood career or role. And I think the industry itself told him, well, you have no talent in this arena. So he's going out there and rambling for money. And that's what he's doing.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Mhm.
I mean,
It is.
the rest of the speech, Brittany, it was relatively mundane. Of course, there had just been the Football World Cup draw in Washington, D.C., so he couldn't resist a subtle dig at Donald Trump's immigration force as he spoke about British football fans descending on the US next year. We are all welcoming many more fellow Brits from across the pond, provided they behave and that they make it through customs, past ICE, US immigration and customs enforcement. The World Cup is coming to the US. Both England and Scotland have qualified. It's a Christmas miracle. He noted that Northern Ireland and Wales could still qualify, which meant all four home nations could soon be landing on US soil. And wouldn't that be something for the great American brewers of Budweiser, Coors, and Samuel Adams to celebrate? The British are coming, hungry for victory, and they're thirsty. And back in the UK, we've recently found out that pubs might stay open until 1 a.m. What could possibly go wrong? So, I mean, look, I find that mildly offensive in terms of what he's saying about British people. Brittany, I mean, the implication is we're all just drunks, okay? But whatever, that's a joke. I can accept it. I don't like it from Harry because I know how much he looks down on British people, especially those of us who voted for Brexit, for example, but I'll cop that. What I think was incredibly unwise, though, was after all of the feedback from Stephen Colbert, all of the backlash from that, he still couldn't resist some type of anti-Trump reference.
Okay, half of you watching this are not subscribed to Dan Wootton Outspoken, and the best way you can support what we do is by hitting that subscribe button. It is completely free, and turn on the notification bell to be alerted to our new episodes.
It's so bad, Dan. I just can't believe he still continues to go down this path. I mean, because he is a guest in my country. He is a guest here. As far as I'm aware, he doesn't have citizenship. He's not gone down that path. I don't know what his immigration status is, but he has no right to pass judgment here unless he becomes a citizen and actually decides to vote. And I find Harry to still be incredibly naive about this country. He very much lives in Meghan Markle's Montecito LA bubble and has no clue about the rest of the flyover country. So this is like the Midwest, the South, the Southwest, that's not California. These places where there's so many different ideas and so many notions of this country. But he's definitely obviously showing his wife's, I think, liberal leanings. And I think he's rather clueless about the entire situation and is just going along with what he hears in her circles. And if he wants to stay here, I would suggest to him, get out of Montecito, get out of LA, touch some grass, discover the rest of this amazing country. And then maybe, just maybe, you won't sound like such a fool when talking on stage to people for money.
No, indeed. I mean, here was a reminder, by the way, about two of the worst moments on Colbert. And then I'll reveal how Meghan Markle was apparently behind this. Watch.
So if you was treated like a king for the day, what would you want me to do for you?
Beg for me, probably.
You'd want me to do what? Beg?
Beg.
Beg?
B-A-K. Beg.
What?
Bake.
Oh, bake!
I heard you elected a king.
That's a fair point.
Well, according to Shooter Scoop, it was Meghan who pushed Harry to pivot into politics on Colbert. And yes, he reveals she got script approval. This new reporting overnight, sources coming directly to me say the whole thing was produced, plotted, polished, and pushed. And the push did not come from Harry. One insider who actually watched rehearsal footage, yes, rehearsal, it happened, told me he walked in wanting to do the cute prince routine. Politics was not on his menu. Then another whisper, the political pivot wasn't his instinct. Meghan encouraged it. She thinks this fiery version of him is powerful. She loves when he shows his edge. And just when I thought I'd heard it all, a seasoned late night source, someone who's been inside those Colbert writers' rooms for years, dropped this. Everything was mapped, every beat. He rehearsed hand gestures, even the off-the-cuff reactions were rehearsed. It was basically a Broadway workshop disguised as a talk show. A royal aide told me, breathless and alarmed, he is still a prince, jumping into US politics on live TV, reckless. It makes him look naive, or worse, manipulated. Then another insider got even more blunt. We watched it together, there were groans. Someone said she's making him look silly. It was not a good idea. And the long-time royal watchers, they're not holding back either. One told me he's supposed to be charming and cheeky, but he came off like a confused pundit. People are not pleased, and people certainly aren't. I mean, take a look at some of the coverage, for example, on Fox News.
Caroline, were you busting a gut over there? Or?
Absolutely not. And what would he know about exercising authority as a king? He splintered the royal family so that he and Meghan could go rogue. He's now the disgraced loser son. His brother is in line for the throne, not him. And yes, we are still a constitutional republic. I know leftists dispute that. We have a very energetic executive. Don't get me wrong. Trump is using a lot of that authority, and I wish Congress would start legislating, but that doesn't make us a monarchy, Mr. Harry.
So, Brittany, you have to sort of wonder at some point, is Meghan purposefully trying to sabotage Harry now? Because why on earth would she have encouraged that?
I mean, I think Meghan definitely enjoys this. I think she wants to play a little bit more of a political role. But you have to remember as well, in her Bloomberg interview, they asked her some political questions and she sort of backed away from it. And yet she's pushing Harry, or allegedly pushing Harry, to do that thing that she's not willing to do. And so it actually reflects that Meghan is completely and utterly willing for Harry to put himself out on the line and offend people. And she is not trying to do that. But when you're a couple, everything you do does reflect on both of you together. And so whether or not Meghan was there, it reflects badly on her. It reflects badly on Harry. Honestly, Harry, in my personal opinion, comes across as a little dumb and very dim, because he should not be engaging in these waters, especially as Andrew's titles were recently stripped. Obviously, Harry's are probably on the chopping block at some point, as well as they should be. And so Harry, in this instance, like poking the bear, it's like, why? This was totally unnecessary. And again, he's not a US citizen. His opinion really doesn't matter. But it's very obnoxious when somebody who's not a citizen has and expresses such strong opinions, especially when he tries to come in with his wife to be the prince and princess of America. It's just wildly offensive, wildly obnoxious, and Harry and Meghan just need to cut it out.
They really do. They really do. But he never cuts things out, Brittany, because unfortunately, sometimes the left-wing establishment give in to him. And I have been utterly horrified by this reversal coming from the Labour government in the United Kingdom today over Prince Harry's security. This was revealed on the front page of the Sun newspaper today, that reported Prince Harry has won a Home Office review of the decision to strip him of 24-hour armed police protection on visits to the UK. And they say it could pave the way for a reunion between the King and his grandchildren. This from Matt Wilkinson, who is the newspaper's royal editor. Charles last saw them in June 2022. During Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee celebrations, but Harry has since said it is not safe for them to visit Britain. The Duke of Sussex blamed an establishment stitch-up after losing a High Court fight this year to reinstate his taxpayer-funded privilege. But the Sun can reveal the Home Office has now ordered a threat assessment for the first time since Harry stepped down as a working royal in 2020. The Royal and VIP Executive Committee, RAVEC, has now instructed its Risk Management Board to reassess his threat level for the first time in nearly 6 years. It is understood the process is already underway, with evidence taken from police, government, and Harry's team. A decision is expected next month from the government body, which is overseen by the Home Office. If it rules he requires armed protection, then taxpayers would pay for it whenever he is in the UK. Brittany, firstly, before we come to the overall ramifications about what this means potentially for Harry's goals, what do you just make of the fact that the government have effectively given in to this guy?
But first, we've been told our whole lives that wrinkle creams were the easiest way to look younger. Now, one doctor says that's nothing but old news. According to Dr. John Lake, the world-renowned Beverly Hills beauty expert, most wrinkle fixes on the market are nothing but glorified moisturizers. He says they hardly make a dent on your appearance. Some can even be harmful to your skin. Now, recently, Dr. Lake has focused his attention away from mainstream cosmetic practices. Why? Well, so that he can pursue a revolutionary anti-aging breakthrough, one that some experts say could empty the wallets of the cosmetic industry. He says it's almost like Photoshop for your face, and you may even be mad after seeing how easy it is to visibly erase your wrinkles from view. His personal clients have dubbed his new do-it-yourself technique the Age Rewinder method because it can take years or even decades off your appearance in under 2 minutes. In light of this amazing breakthrough, Dr. Lake has released a step-by-step video to the public, free and uninterrupted, where he outlines exactly how to use this simple solution from home. And he says if it even helps one person look younger or feel more confident, he will be thrilled knowing he helped. The video has since gone viral. At first, it was shared by users on Facebook, but since then, it's racked up over 2.3 million views and counting. So far, the comments and feedback have been outstanding, with thousands of women reporting they look decades younger. One viewer commented, "Best results of anything I've used. I can't believe how well this works. I'll never stop using this. I don't understand how it works, but the results are great. Thank you." So you can find out more about this yourself right now. Go to bhmd1.com/outspoken or click on the link in the description box below. That's bhmd1.com/outspoken. Now, there is one thing that Dr. Lake asks from his viewers. If watching this video helps you look and feel younger than you have in years, then please share this video with your friends and loved ones. Together, we have the power to help as many women reclaim a youthful look as possible. So go watch the video at bhmd1.com/outspoken right now, or just click on the link in the description box below. But now, back to the show.
It's going to play so badly, Dan. It's really going to play so badly. I mean, nobody wants to pay for this guy's security. And I think it's entirely a wrong move to make, especially considering everything that's going on with Andrew. Because what you don't want in the headlines is, oh, yeah, taxpayers, you're going to have to pay for this bratty, petulant, arrogant prince who only comes here every once in a while, doesn't contribute anything to this country or government. But you're going to have to pay for this 24/7 security because he whined a lot about it. That is not going to play well. I don't even know what the government is thinking here, because this, again, puts them in a bad spot as well. But even worse, the royals. And if Charles needs, again, any motivation to strip Harry and Meghan of their titles, this is it. Because part of Harry's appeal here is that he is the son of the king, ergo his children and him are at grave risk because he is the son of the king and he's in the line of succession. Well, if his kids are no longer in the line of succession and neither is he, a lot of that alleged risk actually goes away. And will this be a legitimate review of his security needs, or will this just be going along political lines, which I could definitely see being a possibility? Either way, this, I think, just plays badly for everyone. I don't know what your government is thinking in this particular instance here. It's not a good idea, in my opinion.
100%. The problem is we've got this new hard left Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood. I mean, she's an Islamist, and I think she's politically open to Prince Harry's woke world. Now, what is most disturbing, I think, about this decision, though, Brittany, is that Tom Sykes, who is the brilliant man behind the Royalist Substack, very tapped in to royal affairs on both sides of the Atlantic, believes that Harry, and I think he's completely right on this, is going to use the decision to set up a rival royal court to challenge Prince William. Here in the United Kingdom, he says after years of battles and lobbying, Harry will finally get the risk assessment that could restore automatic armed police protection and allow him to rebuild a UK base. Tom Sykes predicts that Prince Harry could beef up his UK operation, which would enable him to be in direct competition with his brother's court after his dream of having automatic state-funded police security in England restored moved a step closer. Brittany, I think it's chilling, but I think he's right. I think Harry is so miserable in California, he's looking for an excuse, and this may well be the excuse because, of course, he could save face by saying, well, I couldn't do it before. I couldn't do it before because I didn't have my security, but now I can be back all the time to see my papa and to bring the children because we've got the police with the guns.
I understand, like, obviously you want to protect your family. I get that. But this, again, is going to be disastrous. In every sense of the imagination, this will be disastrous. William, Dan, he has to address this. So does Charles. Because if Harry gets a foothold here, he will completely destabilize the monarchy. And again, as Harry chases cash, he is going to step in it just like his uncle did. And we've all seen what has happened with Prince Andrew. So this cannot be allowed to go forwards. If he does get his protection back, I mean, again, this is the opportunity for Charles and William to say, well, you might have gotten it back, but some of the motivation here is gone because you're no longer a prince of the realm. You're no longer in the line of succession, neither are your children. And really, this whole thing by Harry has been a smokescreen to avoid accountability for his actions. His family has been perfectly safe the entire time to go to the UK if he wants to. He just doesn't want to, or his wife in particular doesn't want to. And he wants to have this leverage, have this thing he's dangling in front of his father to get his way. And to give into any of the demands of this petulant child can only go sideways for Charles and William. This has to be addressed. Harry, I think, again, this is motivation to strip everything from him and leave him out there in California, totally separated. And there will be no royal court for Harry or North Side court or whatever he's trying to create. Because if the monarchy wants to continue, it needs to be solely the monarchy and have no pretenders to the throne out there. And that's exactly what Harry is angling to become.
Brittany, another big royal scandal over the weekend involves GB News claiming live on air that Doria Ragland had previously spent time behind bars. This is something long rumoured, suggested in the past by Tom Bower. However, lots of complaints to the UK government broadcasting regulator, the off-communists, as I call them, as a result of this appearance by Carol Malone. I'm interested in your reaction, Brittany, but just in case people hadn't seen what went down, let me show you this.
It's her compassion for the father who actually brought her up, who paid for her private education while her mother was in jail, who took huge care of her. And she's not seen him in the latter years. More importantly, I mean, she's not just seen him, she's like totally snobbed him.
When was her mum in jail? When was her mum in jail?
Years ago. Do you want me to give you the precise date, time? Because I haven't got it.
I've never heard that forever.
Years ago. Anyway, she. But you know, this old gentleman now could be dying. Yeah. He needs to see his daughter.
Jonathan, let's just bring yourself in now. What's your take on this? To me, it reminds me almost of when we heard the news about King Charles with the enlarged prostate and people asking, will Harry come back to see his father? You know, is this other people's business or should we just leave them to it? It's Meghan's decision whether she goes or not.
I thought we didn't know what the King's cancer was.
No, it was just an enlarged prostate. That's never been confirmed.
It's a pretty bit of car crash television there, I guess. But what do you make of this claim about Doria Ragland, who, of course, did disappear from her daughter's life throughout most of her teenage years?
Well, Dan, we definitely do know that Doria left. Now, I have never been, I mean, I've obviously heard the jail rumors as well. I don't think that's the case. If I remember correctly from Tom Bower's book, he basically implied that she wanted to pursue some sort of career opportunity and sort of dumped Meghan on Thomas's doorstep. And when you actually think about Meghan's recent interview with Harper's Bazaar, she actually reveals that as a child, what got her interested in motherhood was watching mothers on TV. That tells you immediately that there was no mother in the home. Is that if you're getting all your ideas about motherhood from characters on television, you have actually no mother you're really interacting with on a day-to-day basis. So I think it's always been that Meghan has wildly exaggerated the role that her mother has had in her life and that she was mostly actually raised by her father, which makes the estrangement even more disgusting because her father was more engaged with her, supported her more and everything throughout her years growing up, whereas her mom was out of the picture for whatever reason. And we even see this reflected still. I don't think her and her mom are that close. I think they sort of feign having this close relationship because it mutually benefits both of them. But I don't think Meghan's that close to her mom, really. I think her mom's convenient. I think her mom thinks she's convenient. And that's sort of the basis of their relationship, whereas Meghan was more closer to her father growing up. And unfortunately, he doesn't fit her narrative anymore. So he's no longer in the picture. But Meghan's mom definitely disappeared for aspects of her childhood. Don't think it was jail, but because obviously you can get those records, I think, fairly easily. But she was somewhere.
Yeah, it's interesting in the holiday celebration, isn't it? On Netflix, it's like the only way they're able to sort of shoehorn Doria into the Christmases past is to say, oh, Harry loves her gumbo. It's like there was no better story. There was no memory about her mom. I mean, Meghan is actually reduced to talking about her elementary math teacher because, of course, the majority of her memories would have involved spending Christmas with her father. And she can't talk about that. But look, it wasn't a good weekend of royal coverage on GB News, Brittany, my former employer. But I had to show you this because it was quite an extraordinary moment where they were meant to be covering with Ingrid Seward, the editor of Majesty magazine, what was going on with Thomas Markle. But instead, this happened.
Hello, can someone come in? I've just broken my thing. I'm not joking. Hello? Hello, welcome to GB News The Weekend. I'm Dawn Neeson. This is GB News Now. If you are in search of some holiday sun, no, sorry, that's not what we're doing. Okay, welcome back to The Weekend with me, Dawn Neeson. Now, Meghan Markle has allegedly reached out to her father after reports he had his leg amputated following surgery in the Philippines. Meghan has been estranged from her dad, Thomas Markle, since her 2018 wedding, after he was caught staging paparazzi photos in the run-up to the big day. Well, joining me now is royal commentator and author Ingrid Seward. Ingrid, good to see you. Thank you very much for joining me. Ingrid, what do you make of this story?
Well, I don't think Meghan had any choice except to reach out, which I suppose in English is get in touch with her father. It would have looked terrible if she hadn't.
Not pretty. Obviously, I love Ingrid Seward, right? I want to hear what Ingrid Seward has to say, but her face was like, what the hell has just happened?
Oh man, that was really funny. I mean, to give her credit, the commentator there, Dawn, she sort of recovered after she kind of got into the swing of things, but she's going to talk to the weather that it was Ingrid, and Ingrid's like, okay, what the heck is going on here? Not a great look for GB News, I will have to say. Not a great look, but it does provide some good comedy.
Indeed. Oh, Brittany, you don't get that here on Outspoken or, of course, on the Royal News Network, which you must subscribe to for the best analysis and coverage of royal families from all across the globe. Of course, lots on our British royals, but Brittany also covers the European monarchies as well. And I love having her on Outspoken too. So that is the Royal News Network, which you can find on YouTube and X. Of course, if you do want first access to our Royal Uncancelled After Show here on Substack, twice the length of what you've just watched, then do sign up at www.outspoken.live. Paid monthly or annual subscribers get first access to our Royal Uncancelled After Show. That is every weekday. You can watch live or on demand, whichever you prefer. Substack is a free speech network, so it really does help me actually if you join us there, because I'm protected there from big tech cancellation. I'm protected there from lawfare, and you can message me direct. So let me just repeat that address for you, www.outspoken.live.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.